Jayudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today we are going to talk about a character from Mahabharata, Karna, and how can we make use of his good qualities and make his bad qualities turn into good qualities using art of living techniques and wisdom of Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji to make sure that Karna was more like Lord Rama with his qualities, with his character. So let's begin. So Karna was known for his boundless generosity. How can people today cultivate generosity without becoming exploited? Yes, Jagrudev Karna's Danashila, his unmatched spirit of giving, is legendary, yet generosity should be balanced with wisdom. Today, people admire his giving nature, but often they either overgive and feel drained or hesitate to give at all. Through Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, the heart expands and a natural feeling of abundance arises. When you feel full within, generosity becomes effortless and balanced, not exhausting. Padma sadhana helps center the mind, so giving is from strength, not weakness. Now, in the scriptures, giving with ashraddha or faith and viveka or discrimination is praised. Karna gave away even his kavach kundala, which led to his vulnerability. Today, we can perform Gayatri Japa, Sandhya Vandanam, and Agni Karyam to purify intention. So, our charity strengthens society without harming us. Gurudev's talks remind us that true generosity is not just material, it is time, knowledge, and kindness. This transforms Karna's heroic generosity into a sustainable practice for modern admirers. Now, Karna's loyalty to Duryodhana is admired, though it bound him to adharma. How can loyalty be transformed into dharmic strength? Jagudev, loyalty is beautiful when aligned with dharma. Many you today admire Karna's friendship, but loyalty should never bind one to and blind one to truth through Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and Guru Puja phase 1 and phase 2. Seekers learn to sharpen their inner discrimination. Meditation brings clarity. Loyalty should empower righteousness, not support wrongdoings. In a Vedic tradition, loyalty is a virtue only when it uplifts dharma. Karna's downfall was his inability to detach from Duryodhana despite knowing the truth. Admirers of Karna can practice Trikal Sandhya and daily pujas and homas at the Pratapa Ganapati temple in Gurukul to invoke divine guidance before making decisions. In Karnataka, where Karna is revered, devotees can perform homams like Rudra Homa to seek courage to stand for truth while still honoring the value of friendship. Now, Karna's courage was unmatched. How can we cultivate fearless courage without arrogance? Jagradav, courage flows when the mind is calm. Sudarshan Kriya dissolves fear and doubt, leaving behind a quiet strength. Courage doesn't mean aggression, it means standing tall with compassion. Gurudev often says true strength is in calmness. Practices like Bhastrika Pranayama energize the system, while meditation ensures courage doesn't turn into violence. The Vedas glorify Sahas or bravery when directed towards protection of Dharma. Karna's bravery was real but sometimes driven by rivalry. To cultivate noble courage, devotees can perform Agnikaram and chant mantras like Om Ramaya Namaha to connect courage with Ram's calm valor. In regions like Karnal and Karnataka, group satsangs with Hanuman Chalisa can help you channel courage into service and dharmic leadership. Jayadev Karna was an exceptional archer. How can modern admirers use discipline and skill without falling into pride? Yes, Jayadev, archery symbolizes focus, discipline, and skill. Today's equivalent could be excellence in studies, sports, or career. Karna sometimes let pride creep into his mastery. Through Padma Sadhana and meditation, one learns to sharpen focus while remaining humble. Sudarshan Kriya reduces stress, so talent can blossom naturally. In the Vedic path, Vidya should always be offered at the feet of the divine. Skills are gifts, not possessions. Admirers of Karna can do Guru Puja, Gayatri Chapa, and Sandhya Vandanam to remember that knowledge flows from higher consciousness. In Karnataka, students often chant the Gayatri Mantra before study, aligning skill with humility, making mastery uplifting instead of egoistic. Now, Karna showed deep compassion for the poor. How can one cultivate compassion in today's fast paced world? Jayudev, compassion begins with inner stillness. Without meditation, compassion can quickly turn into burnout or pity through Sudarshan Kriya and Sahat Samadhi meditation. The heart becomes naturally compassionate, radiating care without fatigue. Compassion also means listening, forgiving, and being sensitive to others' needs. The Vedas say the paropkara punyaya, service to others is merit. Karna's compassion sometimes lacked foresight. Today, compassion can be expressed through seva projects Annadan, and pujas for community welfare. In Karnataka, many villages perform community homas and satsangs Creating a culture of shared compassion, admirers of Karna can join Art of Living Seva initiatives to balance a spirit of compassion with the sustainable service. Now, Karna was a patient despite constant humiliation. How can people today develop patience without suppressing emotions? Jayadav Karna tolerated ridicule for being called a charioteer's son. His patience was extraordinary, but sometimes it was forced suppression. Today, people face insults in workplaces or society. Sudarshan Kriya helps release suppressed emotions safely, leaving genuine patience. Pranayama, like Nadi Shodhan, balances emotions, making patience natural. Patience doesn't mean weakness. It means strength to respond, not react. In the Veda, Shama or forbearance is considered divine. Karna's Shama teaches us resilience, but when patience is forced, it becomes internal pain. To refine this, one should practice Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa daily to invoke inner stability. In Karnataka, where Karna is respected, devotees can practice Trikal Sandhya to cultivate patience as a spiritual strength, not helplessness. Now, Karna valued friendship deeply. How can loyalty in friendship be balanced with wisdom today? The friendship was Karna's defining quality. He stood by Duryodhana even when Dharma was compromised. Modern youth admire this but struggle when friends lead them astray. Meditation and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 help one develop inner clarity. So, friendship is based on upliftment, not blind following. The Shastras teach Mitra Lakshana, the qualities of a true friend. A real friend uplifts, not drags one into adharma. Devotees can pray with Guru Puja phase 1 and phase 2 and homas and pujas to attract dharmic friendships. In Karnal and Karnataka, admirers of Karna can form satsang groups where friendships revolve around chanting, seva, and study of Gurudev's books, creating loyalty aligned with dharma. Now, Karna showed determination against rejection. How can admirers develop resilience without becoming rigid? Jagadav Karna never gave up despite rejection by teachers like Drona and society at large. His grit inspires many, but determination can harden into rigidity. Through Padma Sadhana, one learns to stay committed while remaining flexible. Sudarshan Kriya softens the heart, preventing determination from turning into stubbornness. Determination or dharya is praised in the Gita, but it must be sattvic. Karna sometimes clung too hard to rivalry with Arjuna. Admirers can strengthen resilience by performing Agni Karyam, chanting Gayatri Mantra, and reading Gurudev's commentaries on the Gita. In Karnataka, practicing seva during festivals and homas teach determination with adaptability, turning Karna's grit into Rama-like steadfastness. Jayadev Karna was humble before elders. How can people combine humility with self-respect? Jai Gurudev, humility is strength, not weakness. Karna respected elders like Bhishma and Drona even when they insulted him. Today, humility often gets mistaken for low confidence. Meditation and Guru Puja give inner dignity. One bows without feeling small. Pranayama helps release ego while preserving self respect. The scriptures glorify Vinaya or humility as a doorway to wisdom. Karna sometimes bent too much, forgetting his own worth. Admirers should practice Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and seek guidance from satsang. In Karnataka, young devotees learn humility by serving in temples during Rudra Homas or Vishnu Sahasranama Parayanas, where humility shines with dignity, not weakness. Karna forgave insults even from the Pandavas. How can forgiveness be practiced today without feeling like a doormat? Jagadev, forgiveness heals the mind. Karna forgave constant mockery about his birth, but the pain stayed inside. Today, forgiveness is essential for mental health. Sudarshan Kriya and Sahat Samadhi meditation dissolve deep grudges, making forgiveness natural, not forced. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing abuse, it means freeing yourself from anger. In the Vedas, Shama is considered greater than tapas. Karna's forgiveness was noble, but it didn't free him from bitterness. Admirers can perform Trikal Sandhya, Agni Karyam, and Gayatri Japa to cultivate divine forgiveness. In Karnal and Karnataka, collective chanting of Hanuman Chalisa or Ram Raksha Stotra can shift inner anger into compassion. Forgiveness then becomes a strength, like Lord Ram's mercy, not a weakness. Now, Karna had a deep sense of duty as a warrior. How can admirers today cultivate responsibility without stress? Jayadeva Karna was always upheld his dharma as a warrior even when faced with unfair odds. Today, many admire his sense of duty but feel burdened by responsibilities at work, home, and society. So, darshan, kriya, and meditation release stress from the nervous system, allowing responsibility to be joyful rather than heavy. Gurudev says, responsibility grows with rest. Practices like Padma Sadhana give inner rest, making duty a natural expression of love, not a burden. In dharmic tradition, Kartavya or duty is sacred when performed with balance. Karna's duty was powerful, but he sometimes mixed it with rivalry. Admirers can purify their sense of responsibility through Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karam, aligning their duty with the cosmic order or Ratha. In Karnataka, people traditionally chant Gayatri before work, ensuring that their responsibility flows with divine grace. So Karna was often truthful about his limitations. How can truthfulness be balanced with compassion today? Jayadav Karna accepted his curses and limitations without denial. This honesty is inspiring, but truth should not be harsh. Meditation and Sudarshan Kriya make the mind sensitive. So truth is spoken with the kindness. Gurudev often reminds us truth is that which is beneficial, not hurtful. Through Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, one learns how to express truth. With wisdom, the Vedas say, Satyam Vada Dharmam Charap, speak truth, we walk in Dharma. Karna sometimes spoke with truth bluntly, causing pain. Admirers can practice Trikal Sandhya, Guru Puja, and mantra chanting to harmonize truth with compassion. In Karnataka, satsangs often emphasize narrating scriptures with sweetness, teaching how truth can uplift, like Ram's gentle words. Now, Karna gave away his armor or the Kavach Kundala. How can sacrifice be practiced today without self harm? Karna's sacrifice was unmatched, but it weakened him in battle. Today, people admire sacrifice but often neglect self care through Padma Sadhana and Sahat Samadhi meditation. One learns to balance sacrifice with the inner strength. True sacrifices, giving what doesn't reduce you but multiplies abundance. Even donating time in seva becomes energizing when combined with Sudarshan Kriya. In the scriptures, yajna or sacrifice is for upliftment or destruction. Karna gave away even what he needed most, which became tragic. Admirers should perform Agni Karam, pujas, and homas where offerings symbolize sacrifice, but the self remains protected. In Karnataka, rituals like Navagraha homas teach devotees to surrender negativity, not weaken themselves. Sacrifice then becomes strengthening, like Ram's renunciation of the throne for Dharma. Now, Karna showed hidden affection for the Pandavas. How can admirers cultivate brotherly love despite conflicts? Though Karna opposed the Pandavas, he still cared for them secretly, especially Yudhishthira. This shows his capacity for brotherly affection in today's world. Siblings and friends often drift apart due to ego. Meditation and Sudarshan Kriya dissolve resentment, opening the heart to love beyond conflict. Guru Puja teaches reverence, which naturally extends to family bonds. The Vedas emphasize matri or friendliness and Bhatra Bhava or brotherhood. Karna struggled to reconcile love with rivalry. Admirers can strengthen brotherly affection by chanting Ram Raksha Stotra, Gayatri Mantra, and Hanuman Chalisa together in families. In Karnataka, community satsangs already foster this sense of unity where even disagreements dissolve in collective chanting. Karna deeply respected his foster parents Adhiratha and Radha. How can devotion to parents be preserved today? Jagadav Karna's gratitude to his foster parents is a shining quality. Today, many get a distance from parents due to modern lifestyles. Padma Sadhana cultivates reverence, and meditation softens the heart to express gratitude. Gurudev often says gratitude is the seat of abundance. Remembering parents' sacrifices and serving them becomes natural with regular practice of Sudarshan Kriya. In dharmic life, Matra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, see mother and father as divine. Karna lived this principle. Admirers today can perform Pitra Tarpana, Sandhya Vandanam, and pujas for ancestors to honor parents. In Karnataka, rituals like Agni Karam during Amavasya remind families of their lineage, strengthening devotion to parents. This makes Karna's gratitude an everyday practice for modern admirers. Now, Karna was a self made man who rose from rejection to kingship. How can admirers build inner strength without arrogance? Karna's life shows how one can rise above limitations. He was denied by gurus, mocked by society, yet he created his destiny. Today, admirers of Karna face similar struggles: career obstacles, social rejection, or lack of recognition. Sudarshan Kriya and meditation strengthen resilience without making one bitter. Gurudev often says your strength is not in fighting circumstances but in flowing through them. Padma Sadhana keeps ambition grounded in humility. Now, in dharmic tradition, self effort or purushartha is essential, but it must align with divine will or daiva. Karna sometimes let the self made pride fuel rivalry. Admirers can combine self effort with Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam to keep strength rooted in sattva. In Karnataka, farmers and professionals alike chant mantras before work, reminding themselves that self made success is also divine grace. Now, Karna was magnanimous, giving even in death. How can admirers practice magnanimity without weakness? Jayagurudev, even on his deathbed, Karna gave away his remaining wealth. Magnanimity is a rare jewel, but if misplaced, it leads to exploitation. Meditation and Sahat Samadhi meditation expand the heart, making generosity natural yet wise. Sudarshan Kriya ensures magnanimity flows from inner abundance, not from guilt or insecurity. Now, the Vedas describe Mahadana or the great charity as that which uplifts both giver and receiver. Karna's magnanimity was glorious but sometimes left him vulnerable. Admirers should practice homams like Dhanalakshmi Homam and daily Guru Puja of phase 1 and phase 2 to dedicate their giving to a higher purpose. In Karnataka, temple offerings and Annadana programs reflect Karna's spirit, but with dharmic safeguards, so magnanimity strengthens society. Now, Karna had extraordinary willpower. How can admirers today develop strong will without rigidity? Karna's willpower kept him going despite countless setbacks. Modern youth admire this, but often willpower turns into stubbornness. Pranayama and Padma Sadhana build inner discipline while keeping the mind flexible. Gurudev emphasizes Sankalpa Shakti, the power of intention. When combined with Sudarshan Kriya, determination becomes fluid strength, not hard rigidity. The Gita praises dhaira or steadfastness but warns against tamasic stubbornness. Karna sometimes clung to rivalry instead of truth. Admirers should perform Trikal Sandhya, Agnikaram, and Gayatri Japa to align with the Dharma. In Karnataka, students take Sankalpa before Homas, learning that willpower should always be dedicated to noble goals. Now, Karna was valorous, defeating many warriors. How can courage today be combined with compassion? Jayagurudev, valor is not aggression but fearlessness in service. Karna's valor is admired, but sometimes it was fueled by rivalry. Today, people can cultivate valor through Bhastrika Pranayama and Sudarshan Kriya, which build energy and remove fear. Meditation ensures valor comes with compassion. Gurudev reminds us the strongest warrior is one who conquers his own mind. The Vedas glorify Vairya or heroism when used to protect Dharma. Karna sometimes used valor in service of Duryodhana's ego. Admirers should channel courage through Hanuman Chalisa, Ramraksha Stotram, and Rudra Homa, invoking courage with humility. In Karnal and Karnataka, group satsangs where youth chant together can transform valor into service oriented leadership. Karna mentored younger warriors. How can admirers practice mentorship with the compassion and wisdom today? Karna often advised and guided his allies, showing his ability to mentor. Today, mentorship is crucial in families, schools, and workplaces, but the mentorship must be without ego. Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2 refines the intellect, while meditation brings patience to listen. Gurudev teaches that a true mentor uplifts without controlling. In Vedic culture. The Guru Shishya Parampara is the highest form of mentorship. Karna guided others but lacked alignment with Dharma. Admirers can become dharmic mentors by practicing Guru Puja, Sandhya Vandanam, and study of scriptures. In Karnataka, satsang leaders mentor youth through chanting, seva, and homas. This turns Karna's mentoring spirit into one resembling Ram's guiding leadership. Now, Karna's loyalty was unshakable even when he knew Duryodhana was on the wrong side. How can admirers of Karna practice loyalty like him but avoid being loyal to destructive or harmful paths? Jayadev, loyalty is indeed one of Karna's most admirable traits, yet loyalty without discernment can lead to suffering. Gurudev often says, Viveka, the ability to discriminate between right and wrong, is essential for dharmic living. In the art of living, practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Pranayama sharpen this inner clarity. When the mind is clouded with stress, we may confuse attachment with loyalty, but when the mind becomes light and centered, loyalty flows naturally towards truth, compassion, and noble causes. Now, in the scriptures, loyalty is always praised when aligned with Dharma. Karna's mistake was not loyalty itself, but the object of his loyalty. To redirect this in today's times, one can do Sandhya Vandanam and Trikal Sandhya daily. These Vedic rituals cleanse the mind and invoke Gayatri Devi, who blesses us with wisdom. Through such discipline, we learn to discern whether the person or cause we are loyal to uplifts or degrades society. Loyalty should be to Dharma, not to Adharma. Exactly. Gurudev's knowledge talks also emphasize that loyalty to one's higher self and to humanity is supreme. If people in Karnal or Karnataka admire Karna, they can take inspiration from his loyalty but strengthen it with meditation and satsang and seva. This way, they embody loyalty like Lord Rama, who was loyal not just to people but to righteousness itself. Now, Karna had an immense sense of gratitude, especially towards Duryodhana, who gave him respect. How can people cultivate gratitude like Karna while ensuring it does not blind them? Jagadav, gratitude is a divine quality. Karna was grateful to Duryodhana for giving him a place in society, but he let gratitude overshadow truth. In Vedic tradition, gratitude is first offered to the divine through Agni Karyam fire rituals. By daily offering prayers, mantras, and havan, one acknowledges the cosmic forces that sustain life. This broadens the heart and prevents one from becoming bound to a single benefactor. Now, in the art of living, gratitude is nurtured through Guru Puja and remembrance of the lineage of masters. When one bows down in Guru Puja, one feels thankful not only to a person but to existence itself. This is where gratitude becomes expansive, not binding. Gurudev often reminds us gratitude is not selective, it is total through practices like Padma Sadhana and meditation. Gratitude becomes a natural fragrance of life, and when gratitude becomes expansive, it guides action correctly. Karna's gratitude narrowed his vision, but by combining gratitude with dharma as Lord Rama did, one can honor relationships while still upholding righteousness. So, people today, whether in Karnal or Karnataka, should practice gratitude through meditation, seva, and pujas. This turns gratitude into strength, not weakness. They can admire Karna's gratitude yet channel it wisely to uplift society. Now, Karna was renowned for his Danavirta or unparalleled generosity. How can people today embody such generosity without falling into the trap of being exploited as Karna sometimes was? Jagadev, generosity is one of the most celebrated aspects of Karna's character. He could never refuse anyone, but at times this generosity was without wisdom, such as giving away his protective kavacha and kundala. In the art of living, generosity is nurtured through seva or selfless service. When one practices Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, the mind becomes free from lack and fear, so sharing happens naturally. But along with generosity, Gurudev emphasizes the balance of Viveka. Generosity must empower others, not weaken oneself. Absolutely, in the Vedic way, charity is classified as Dan, Dakshina, Annadan, and Vidyadan. The scriptures say that the highest charity is giving knowledge, for it empowers for life. Karna often gave material wealth, but knowledge sharing is what sustains dharma. Practices like Gayatri Japa and Trikal Sandhya open the mind to higher wisdom, ensuring that generosity is guided by discernment. For example, offering seva in temples, supporting education, or sponsoring pujas uplifts society more than indiscriminate giving. Gurudev also says give with joy and don't expect anything in return. This transforms generosity into tyaga or sacrifice, a noble quality that leads to inner strength. People in Karnal and Karnataka who admire Karna can take inspiration from his spirit of giving, but they can refine it with Guru Puja, Seva, and knowledge talks, ensuring their generosity benefits the world and aligns with Dharma. Now, Karna's courage in battle was unmatched. How can this valor be cultivated today without it turning into aggression or arrogance? Jagadev, courage or Shaurya is indeed divine. Karna showed fearlessness on the battlefield, but sometimes his courage was fueled by ego or resentment. Vedic practices teach us that true courage comes from inner stability, not external aggression. Daily Sandhya Vandanam, Agni Karam, and Gayatri Japa infuse the practitioner with spiritual energy, giving strength that is calm yet unshakable. This transforms bravery into a tool of dharma in the art of living. Courage is cultivated through inner silence, practices like Padma Sadhana, Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, and Sudarshan Kriya connect you with the core of your being, which is fearless. Gurudev often reminds us that aggression comes from weakness, but true courage comes from centeredness. When the breath is calm, the mind becomes fearless. This is why pranayama is so powerful. It removes fear and fills us with valor that is compassionate. Now, Lord Rama is the perfect example, valorous yet humble. Karna's admirer should not just imitate his physical bravery, but also cultivate the inner courage of Rama, which is balanced with humility and compassion. So, whether in Karnal or Karnataka, people can practice meditation, seva, and Vedic rituals to develop courage that uplifts society. This way, Karna's valor is preserved but transformed into a dharmic force. Now, Karna showed a deep compassion, especially towards the poor and needy. How can people today nurture compassion like Karna while ensuring it doesn't lead them into emotional vulnerability or exploitation? Jagudev, compassion is at the heart of Dharma. Karna's heart melted at the sight of suffering, which made him beloved, yet sometimes people misuse this kindness. In the art of living, compassion is strengthened by Sudarshan Kriya and meditation because they expand our awareness. Gurudev says, when the heart expands, compassion naturally flows, but awareness also brings clarity so one knows when to help and how much to help without getting drained. In a Vedic tradition, compassion is expressed through annadan or feeding, seva and agnikaram or fire offerings for peace and prosperity of all beings. These practices channel compassion into structured action, preventing it from being misused. For instance, instead of indiscriminately giving wealth, supporting Gayatri Japa, Trikal Sandhya, or temple rituals creates a collective upliftment. This ensures compassion is expansive and dharmic, not just emotional. Now, Gurudev often advises balancing compassion with wisdom. And that's why Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 is valuable. It teaches restraint and awareness so compassion doesn't become emotional weakness. People in Karnal or Karnataka can admire Karna's compassion, but strengthen it with meditation, pranayama, and seva so it resembles the compassion of Lord Rama, gentle, wise, and powerful. Now, Karna respected his teachers even though he sometimes concealed his lineage from Parashurama. How can people today practice true respect for teachers and gurus without falling into dishonesty or blind following? Jagadev, respect for teachers or Guru Bhakti is a sacred Vedic value. Karna indeed revered Parshuram, but by hiding his true identity, he invited a curse. This teaches us that respect must be rooted in honesty and transparency. Practices like Guru Puja and Sandhya Vandanam remind us daily of the Guru Parampara, lineage of teachers, and instill humility. True reverence means being honest, sincere, and open with one's Guru. In the art of living, Guru Puja is central. It fills the heart with gratitude and reverence, aligning us with the wisdom of the masters. Gurudev often says respect for the Guru is respect for knowledge itself, but he also emphasizes questioning and clarity. Blind faith is not encouraged. Meditation and Sudarshan Kriya sharpen the intellect, so one learns to honor teachers while staying authentic. Lord Rama is a shining example. He revered sage Vasista with utmost humility. If admirers of Karna practice Gayatri Japa and Vedic rituals along with art of living tools, they can turn Karna's respect into a fully dharmic quality rooted in truth. For people in Karnal and Karnataka, this respect can be cultivated today and daily through seva to teachers, learning scriptures, and offering gratitude. In this way, reverence becomes strength, guiding life on the path of dharma. Now, Karna is remembered as a true friend. His loyalty to Duryodhana was unwavering. How can people today embody Karna's spirit of friendship while ensuring it aligns with dharma and doesn't bind them to wrong causes? Karna's friendship was one of his noblest qualities, but it also led him into adharma because he prioritized personal loyalty over universal righteousness. Gurudev often says a true friend uplifts you on the path of dharma. In the art of living, Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and satsang purify the heart. So our friendships naturally align with higher values. We begin to attract people who share dharmic intentions rather than those who drag us into conflict. Now, from the Vedic perspective, friendship or mitrata is not just personal but cosmic. The Rig Veda prays Mitra Roti Krityani. Mitra, the deity of friendship, ensures harmony in relationships. By doing Trikal Sandhya, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karam, one invokes Mitra's blessings, making friendship sattvic and dharmic. Friendship then becomes a bond of truth, not just emotional attachment. People in Karnal or Karnataka who admire Karna should learn from his loyalty but refine it with dharma through seva and satsang. They can cultivate friendships that are uplifting, like Lord Ram's bond with Sugriva, friendship rooted in righteousness. Now, Karna upheld his sense of honor, never refusing to duel or request, yet sometimes this honor became rigid and destructive. How can admirers of Karna nurture honor that is flexible, wise, and uplifting? Jagudev, honor or Maryada or Satyavrata is central to Dharma. Karna's honor was admirable, but he was bound by a literal code that sometimes made him act against righteousness. Vedic practices like Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa instill the essence of true honor, which is rooted in alignment with the cosmic order or Rita. Honor should mean standing for truth, not blind adherence to vows. Now, in the art of living, we train the mind to move from rigidity to flexibility through Padma Sadhana, Pranayama, and Sudarshan Kriya. The body and mind become supple, Gurudev often says honor does not mean stubbornness, it means integrity. A person with inner clarity knows when to uphold a vow and when to reinterpret it in the light of compassion and dharma. Lord Ram's life shows this balance. He upheld his honor by keeping his father's word, but he did so with compassion and responsibility, not stubbornness. So, admirers of Karna in Karnal and Karnataka can channel his sense of honor into living with integrity, being truthful, reliable, and compassionate. By combining Guru Puja, Seva, meditation, and Vedic rituals, honor becomes a living dharma rather than a rigid burden. Now, Karna faced rejection throughout his life by society, by Draupadi, and even by destiny, yet he showed remarkable humility and resilience. How can people today cultivate such a humility without falling prey into self pity? Karna's humility, despite constant rejection, is indeed inspiring. He never allowed rejection to harden his heart completely. Gurudev says, humility is strength, it is not weakness. Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Padma Sadhana. People release the pain of rejection and connect with their inner self. From this space, humility arises naturally, not from inferiority but from strength. Rejections then become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. In the Vedic path, humility is cultivated through Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam. When one offers prayers thrice a day, one is reminded of the vastness of the cosmos and the smallness of the ego. The daily practice prevents rejection from turning into bitterness or victimhood. Instead, it makes the person grounded and aware that rejection is often a redirection towards a higher purpose. Exactly, people in Karnal or Karnataka who admire Karna can learn that rejection should not lead to anger or self pity, but to deeper humility and self mastery. With satsang, seva, and spiritual practices, they can transform rejection into resilience, just as Lord Rama transformed exile into an epic journey of dharma. Now, Karna had natural charisma as a leader and warrior, inspiring loyalty in others. How can people today develop such charisma in a way that is rooted in service and not ego? Jagadev, true charisma comes from tejas or inner radiance. Karna's aura was strong, yet sometimes it carried the weight of his inner conflicts. In Vedic tradition, charisma is cultivated by tapas or discipline and trikal sandhya and gayatri japa. These practices purify the mind and body, creating a natural radiance that inspires others without effort. In the art of living, charisma is developed by centering oneself. Gurudev says, when you are natural, joyful, and connected to the present, charisma shines effortlessly. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 bring out this inner glow. Leadership then becomes about serving, not controlling. Lord Ram's charisma came from his purity and compassion. People were drawn to him not out of fear but out of love and respect. That is the model to follow. So, admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka and refine their natural leadership by combining seva, meditation, pujas, and Guru Puja. This way, charisma becomes a tool of inspiration and service, not a weapon of ego. Now, Karna valued truthfulness, but at times he compromised it, like hiding his lineage or misleading to protect his vows. How can people today practice truthfulness in a balanced way? Jagadev, truthfulness or satya is the foundation of dharma. Karna's life shows the conflict between truth and circumstance. Gurudev often reminds us truth is that which uplifts. Through Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, the mind becomes fearless, and only a fearless mind can live truthfully. Many people hide truths out of fear of judgment. When the nervous system is calm, fear dissolves and honesty flows naturally. In Vedic tradition, truthfulness is upheld by Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam. These practices align a person with Rata or the cosmic order. Speaking truth then becomes effortless. The Mahabharata teaches us that even noble figures like Karna faltered when truth conflicted with loyalty. The lesson for us is that truth must never be compromised for convenience or attachment. For admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka, practicing daily meditation, pranayama, and seva builds inner strength to live truthfully. Truth is not just about words, it's about authenticity. Like Lord Rama, one must embody truth even in adversity, turning Karna's struggles with honesty into a source of inspiration. Now, Karna was deeply committed to his vows, but sometimes his rigidity caused suffering. How can people learn to uphold commitments without becoming inflexible? Yet the vows of Vrata have a great spiritual power. Karna's adherence to his promises earned him respect. Yet rigidity made him vulnerable. For example, refusing to withdraw even when circumstances turned against him. In Vedic practice, the vratas are balanced by wisdom, guided through Trikal Sandhya, Pujas, and Gayatri Japa. These rituals remind us that vow should serve dharma, not ego. Now, Gurudev often says commitment is strength, but flexibility is intelligence. Through Padma Sadhana and Pranayama, the body and mind become flexible. This flexibility extends to life, teaching us when to adapt without breaking the spirit of our commitment. For instance, serving society with compassion is a vow we can uphold, but how we serve may change with time. Lord Rama is the ideal balance. He upheld his father's promise of exile, yet he adapted to forest life with grace and dignity. This is the model of commitment with flexibility. For those in Karnal or Karnataka who admire Karna, the path is clear: practice meditation, seva, Guru Puja, and knowledge sessions. This way, vows become living commitments that uplift and not rigid burdens that bind. Now, Karna often spoke of justice, but his sense of fairness was clouded by loyalty to Duryodhana. How can people today develop a true sense of justice that serves everyone equally? If justice is born when the mind is free from bias. Karna wanted justice for himself because of the rejection he faced, and that sometimes turned into partiality. Gurudev says, a calm mind is the foundation of fairness. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and pranayama help remove resentment, jealousy, and prejudice. Then decisions arise from clarity, not hurt. In the Vedic path, the justice is aligned with dharma. Trikal Sandhya, Gayatri Japa, and Agnikaram purify the intellect and help individuals see beyond personal attachments. In the Mahabharata, Bhishma and Vidura are examples of dharmic justice. They looked beyond personal relationships. Karna's admirers should remember that justice must serve society and truth, not just friends or benefactors. For people in Karnal or Karnataka, cultivating justice means practicing meditation and seva daily. When the mind is balanced, one naturally stands for truth, like Lord Rama, who upheld justice with the compassion, not anger. This transforms Karna's partial sense of justice into a universal dharmic vision. Jagadav Karna was extremely disciplined in learning archery, practicing tirelessly. How can today's youth adopt such discipline without falling into pride or burnout? Jagadav, discipline or niyama is a pillar of Vedic life. Karna's discipline in learning from Parashuram was unmatched, yet sometimes pride accompanied it. To avoid burnout or arrogance, discipline must be combined with humility and devotion. That's why Sandhya Vandanam, Pujas, and Gayatri Japa are prescribed. They discipline the body and mind while keeping the heart surrendered. In the art of living, discipline is cultivated gently through daily practices like Padma Sadhana, Sudarshan Kriya, and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2. These bring consistency without strain. Gurudev often says discipline should be joyful, not stressful. When one enjoys the practice, discipline becomes effortless. Karna's discipline can inspire today's youth, but they should also learn balance. Lord Rama practiced discipline in learning and warfare, yet he was never arrogant. His discipline was for dharma, not for ego. So, in Karnal or Karnataka, admirers of Karna can practice discipline through spiritual sadhanas and seva. This makes discipline a source of inner strength and humility, not a path to exhaustion or pride. Karna accepted his destiny with remarkable composure, even when cursed or faced with certain death. How can people today learn to accept destiny without becoming passive or hopeless? Karna's acceptance of destiny showed his innocence, but at times it became resignation. Gurudev explains beautifully: acceptance is not helplessness, it is wisdom. When we practice Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and pranayama, our nervous system calms down. This gives us the power to accept what we cannot change and the energy to act where we can. True acceptance is dynamic, it brings peace along with action. In the Vedic way, destiny or prarabdha karma is acknowledged through daily Gayatri rituals like Trikal Sandhya and Gayatri Japa. These anchor us in surrender to the divine, reminding us that destiny is not punishment but a path to evolution. Karna teaches us that acceptance without wisdom can bind, but acceptance with dharma liberates. People in Karnal or Karnataka who admire Karna can embrace destiny with strength by combining satsang, seva, and Guru Puja. Lord Rama accepted exile gracefully but used it to fulfill a higher purpose. That is the model: accepting with wisdom, not defeat. Now, Karna was also a powerful orator. His words commanded respect in assemblies. How can people today develop such communication skills rooted in truth and compassion? Jagdev, speech or Vaka Shakti is divine power. The Vedas themselves are expressions of sacred sound. Karna's eloquence came from clarity of thought and fearlessness, but sometimes his words carried bitterness. In the Vedic tradition, speech is purified through Gayatri Japa, Sandhya Vandanam, and chanting of mantras. These practices refine the vibration of speech so that words heal instead of hurt. Gurudev often says, the power of your words depends on the silence you carry within. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and meditation increase inner silence. From silence emerges powerful, impactful communication that is natural and compassionate. Karna's admirers can refine his gift of speech by practicing these tools. Lord Ram's words were gentle, truthful, and healing. He never used eloquence to wound but to uplift. That is the balance Karna's admirers must seek. So, for people in Karnal or Karnataka, practicing satsang, pranayama, and mantra chanting will help develop speech that inspires respect and spreads harmony, turning Karna's fiery eloquence into Ram's soothing wisdom. Now, Karna was known to share warmth, humor, and camaraderie with his companions despite the heavy burdens he carried. How can people today cultivate lightness and joy in relationships without ignoring their responsibilities? Jayadev, Karna's ability to be cheerful despite struggles shows inner resilience. Gurudev often says wisdom gives you the skill to smile through challenges. Humor and camaraderie must be grounded in awareness. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and satsang, one learns to release stress and naturally radiate joy. When the mind is light, relationships become joyful instead of burdensome. In the Vedic path, joy is cultivated through collective rituals like satsangs, bhajans, and pujas. Even in solemn duties, there is a space for lightness. Karna's camaraderie reflected his large heart for admirers of Karna, especially in Karnal and Karnataka. Regular participation in temple rituals, Gayatri Japa, and Seva activities creates a joyful community atmosphere where humor is uplifting, not frivolous. Lord Rama exemplified this balance. He fulfilled his duties with gravity, but also shared monuments and moments of joy with his companions like Hanumana and Sugriva. By practicing spiritual tools daily, people can keep their hearts light while being reasonable and responsible. That is how Karna's camaraderie can be transformed into a dharmic joy that uplifts everyone. Now, Karna had deep devotion to the sun god or Surya, from whom he drew strength. How can people today channel such devotion in a way that brings inner radiance and clarity? Jagadev Karna's worship of Surya gave him both courage and vitality. Surya is a symbol of light, clarity, and life force. Vedic tradition prescribes Sandhya Vandanam, Surya Namaskara, and Gayatri Japa at sunrise to invoke Surya's blessings. These practices sharpen the intellect and fill one with a positive energy. Devotion to Surya uplifts both body and mind, removing confusion and weakness. In the art of living, practices like Padma Sadhana, Pranayama, and Sudarshan Kriya awaken inner prana, which is essentially solar energy within us. Gurudev often says, when your prana is high, your mind is bright like the sun. Devotion to Surya that is not only ritualistic but also experiential by feeling the inner radiance. Lord Rama himself was considered Surya Vamsha, born in the solar dynasty. His devotion and alignment with Surya's qualities made him radiant in character. For people in Karnal or Karnataka, combining Surya worship, meditation, and Gayatri Japa ensures they channel Karna's devotion to Surya in a balanced way, making their lives radiant with clarity and purpose. So Karna is remembered for his unparalleled sense of sacrifice, even giving away his kavach and kundala. How can people today embody sacrifice in a wise way without falling into self-harm or exploitation? Jagadav Karna's generosity inspires millions, but at times his sacrifices weaken him and affected the larger dharma. Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji often says sacrifice should uplift, not diminish. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Guru Puja, one develops inner clarity. With this clarity, sacrifice becomes seva, service for the welfare of all, rather than a blind giving away that harms oneself. For example, donating time for seva, teaching children, or offering skills for society is a true sacrifice. In Vedic tradition, sacrifice is performed through yajna, somas, and dana guided by dharma. Karna's dana was legendary, but without wise counsel, he sometimes gave away even what was vital for his survival. The scriptures teach that sacrifice should be aligned with the dharma and Guru's wisdom. For admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka, practicing Trikal Sandhya, Agni Karyam, and Gayatri Japa helps align their intentions so their giving becomes both generous and wise. Lord Ram's sacrifices always serve Dharma, whether giving up the throne or going to the forest. By combining Karna's generosity with Ram's wisdom, people can embody noble sacrifice that uplifts society while protecting their strength for greater service. Jagdev Karna left a legacy of respect, being remembered for loyalty, courage, and charity. How can people today create such a legacy for future generations? Jagadav, legacy in Vedic terms is not just a material inheritance; it is sanskara, values, and impressions passed on to the future generations. Karna's legacy, though tragic, was rooted in noble virtues. To build such a legacy, one must engage in pujas, homas, and vandanam, and righteous living. Teaching children to chant Gayatri, perform seva, and live truthfully ensures they inherit values, not just wealth. Gurudev reminds us what you give to society is your true legacy. Practices like Padma Sadhana, Sudarshan Kriya, and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 purify the individual, making their actions impactful for generations. People in Karnal or Karnataka who admire Karna can carry forward his courage and generosity, but refine them through meditation and Guru's guidance, ensuring their legacy is not of struggle but of balance, joy, and dharma. Now, Lord Ram's legacy is timeless because it is rooted in dharma and love. If people blend Karna's bravery with Ram's righteousness, their legacy too will shine across generations. So Karna displayed great humility despite his unmatched skills and never boasting of his powers. How can people today cultivate humility while still excelling in their careers or personal lives? Jagadev, true humility comes from inner strength. Karna, though skilled in archery and warfare, bowed to his teachers and respected his peers. Today, people can nurture humility through meditation and Sudarshan Kriya, which dissolve the ego. Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji says, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking less about yourself. When the mind is calm, achievements are seen as blessings rather than possessions, and arrogance naturally drops. In the Vedic way, humility is cultivated through Guru Puja, Sandhya Vandanam, and Seva. These practices remind us that knowledge and power flow from the divine. Karna's humility shown because he acknowledged Surya as a source of his strength. People in Karnal and Karnataka who admire Karna should engage in Padma Sadhana and Gayatri Japa daily to ground themselves in gratitude. This helps them balance excellence with humility. Lord Rama was an example of humility. Though God himself, he lived as a human and respected sages and elders. If Karna's admirers can pair humility with Ram's wisdom, they will succeed in life while remaining grounded and loved. Karna had a strong sense of justice and often stood against unfairness, yet sometimes his loyalty to Duryodhana clouded this sense. How can people today uphold justice with clarity? Karna's inner compass often pointed toward justice, but personal ties diverted him. In Vedic tradition, justice is upheld by aligning with dharma. Practices like Agni Karyam, Yagyas, and study of scriptures keep one rooted in higher values. When dharma becomes the guiding star, personal bonds or pressures cannot sway justice. Gurudev teaches that a calm mind leads to right action through Sudarshan Kriya and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2. And meditation, people develop discrimination, what we call Viveka. This clarity helps one act justly without bias. Karna's admirers, especially in places like Karnal and Karnataka, can use these tools to emulate his courage while avoiding partiality. Lord Rama embodies a perfect justice, firm yet compassionate. By combining Karna's passion for fairness with Ram's balance, modern seekers can champion justice in families, workplaces, and society without being clouded by personal ties. Now, Karna was a master of archery and displayed incredible discipline in honoring his skills. How can people today cultivate mastery and discipline without becoming rigid or egoistic? The mastery comes from consistency and discipline, but also from surrender. Karna practiced tirelessly even when denied fair opportunities. Today, one can cultivate similar focus by adopting daily sadhana routines such as pranayama, padma sadhana, and meditation. These not only sharpen skills but also keep the mind flexible. Gurudev says discipline should bring freedom, not bondage. When discipline is combined with joy, it becomes sustainable rather than rigid. In the Vedic path, discipline or niyama is essential for mastery. Regular Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam align a person's daily life with cosmic rhythm. Karna's admirers, particularly in Karnal and Karnataka, can balance skill and humility by following such practices. ensuring that discipline doesn't lead to arrogance. Lord Rama was also a master warrior, yet his discipline was rooted in dharma, not ego. If Karna's admirers can combine rigorous practice with spiritual tools, they can excel in their fields while remaining grounded and compassionate. Now, Karna showed resilience in adversity, never giving up despite rejection, insults, and hardships. How can people today develop such resilience without letting bitterness take over? Karna's resilience is truly admirable. He endured humiliation yet stood tall, but at times pain hardened his heart. In Vedic wisdom, the resilience comes from connecting to the divine through pujas, homas, and chanting. These remind us that challenges are temporary and fuel growth. Gurudev often says adversity makes you strong, but wisdom makes you unshakable. Through Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, people release bitterness and stress, keeping only the strength. For Karna's admirers in Karnal and Karnataka, this is vital. Use pain as fuel for growth, not resentment. Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2 especially helps one observe emotions without being consumed by them. Lord Rama faced exile, betrayal, and loss, yet never grew bitter. By practicing resilience with devotion and dharma, modern seekers can transform hardships into wisdom and compassion, combining Karna's toughness with Ram's grace. Now, Karna's loyalty to Duryodhana was unshakable even when it bound him to adharma. How can people today practice loyalty while also ensuring it is aligned with righteousness? Loyalty is a noble quality, but when misplaced, it can cause harm. Karna's loyalty blinded him to dharma at times. In the Vedic path, loyalty is balanced by viveka or discernment, developed through scripture study, pujas, and yagyas. Loyalty must be to truth and dharma first, then to individuals. For people in Karnal and Karnataka who admire Karna practicing Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa refines their inner compass, ensuring their loyalty uplifts on and not misleads. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji says, true loyalty is to the highest purpose of life. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Guru Puja, one develops clarity to see when loyalty supports dharma and when it feeds ego or attachment. Karna's admirers can embody his steadfastness, but guided by Ram's example, loyalty to dharma, family, and truth above all. This blend of Karna's steadfast heart and Ram's righteous loyalty can help modern seekers remain trustworthy while also serving the greater good. Now, Karna longed for recognition and honor, which sometimes led him into rivalry and frustration. How can people today channel this desire into healthy motivation rather than destructive ambition? Jagadev, the longing for recognition is natural but becomes toxic when it rules one's life. Karna's thirst for honor sometimes made him restless. Gurudev reminds us when you are centered, recognition will follow you like a shadow. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and meditation reduce dependency on external validation. Instead, one finds joy in contribution itself. In the Vedic tradition, honor comes from seva, dana, and righteous living. Rituals like Agni Karyam, homas, and chanting purify intentions, making actions an offering rather than a quest for approval. For admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka, focusing on seva projects while practicing Gayatri Japa ensures their desire for recognition turns into a desire for collective upliftment. Lord Rama never sought recognition, yet his glory endures eternally. If Karna's admirers channel ambition into service like Lord Rama, with Ram's humility as their guide, they will naturally be honored by society without chasing it. Now, Karna displayed gratitude to those who supported him, like Duryodhana, even in difficult times. How can people today cultivate genuine gratitude without attaching it to ego or expectation? Jagadev, gratitude is a powerful quality that transforms the heart. Karna's gratitude was noble, but at times it was tied to expectations, which caused inner conflict. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji teaches gratitude should be unconditional, like the sun giving light to all. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Padma Sadhana, people can feel gratitude naturally. Daily practices like Gayatri Japa cultivate an attitude of thankfulness toward life, reducing expectations and resentment. In Vedic practices, gratitude is expressed through pujas, homas, and dana. These rituals align the mind with the cosmic order, teaching us to value blessings without clinging. Karna's admirers, particularly in Karnal or Karnataka, can develop gratitude through daily Sandhya Vandanam, Guru Puja, and Seva, ensuring their thankfulness uplifts both themselves and the community. Lord Rama exemplified gratitude in his humility, acknowledging everyone's contributions. Combining Karna's grateful heart with Ram's awareness creates a balanced and uplifting attitude toward life. Now, Karna sometimes harbored anger and grudges, which clouded his judgment. How can people today transform such negative emotions into positive energy? Jayadeva, anger and grudges block the flow of dharma. Karna's pride and resentment occasionally led to harmful decisions. Vedic wisdom teaches that prayer, homas, and chanting help cleanse their mind. Regular practice of Agni Karyam, Gayatri Japa, and Sandhya Vandanam purifies anger and replaces it with clarity and strength in the art of living. Sudarshan Kriya, Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2, and meditation are highly effective in releasing accumulated anger. Gurudev emphasizes anger is energy transformed, it becomes strength for service and wisdom. People in Karnal and Karnataka who admire Karna can use these tools to turn resentment into resilience, compassion, and constructive action. Now, Lord Ram's life teaches us balance. He was fierce against injustice, but never carried grudges. By blending Karna's intensity with Ram's equanimity, modern practitioners can harness their emotions wisely. Now, Karna valued knowledge and learning, particularly from his teacher Parashuram. Despite his hardships, how can people today cultivate a love for learning and wisdom in a practical way? Jagadav Karna's thirst for knowledge was immense, but his access was limited by societal barriers. Today, we have countless opportunities to learn, and the key is consistent practice and humility. Gurudev says, true learning comes from openness and practice, not just information. Through Padma Sadhana, meditation, and Sudarshan Kriya, the mind becomes sharp and receptive. People can absorb knowledge and deeply and apply it wisely in life. Vedic tradition emphasizes learning through Guru Puja, Sandhya Vandanam, and chanting mantras. These practices cultivate concentration, memory, and respect for wisdom. Karna's admirers, especially in Karnal and Karnataka, can develop intellectual discipline while remaining humble and devoted. Lord Rama also exemplified lifelong learning, not for ego but to serve dharma. Combining Karna's dedication with Ram's humility ensures knowledge becomes a tool for personal growth and societal upliftment. Now, Karna was extremely brave in battle, facing powerful warriors despite knowing the risks. How can people today cultivate courage in life's challenges without becoming reckless? Karna's bravery was legendary, yet at times it bordered on recklessness due to loyalty or ego. Vedic practices like Agni Karyam, Homas, and Sandhya Vandanam strengthen inner resolve and cultivate balanced courage. Courage should come from clarity of purpose, not impulsive emotion. In the art of living, courage is nurtured through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and pranayama. These practices calm the mind and expand awareness, giving the practitioner the strength to face challenges fearlessly yet wisely. Gurudev often says, true courage is facing life with equanimity, not seeking glory. Lord Rama faced daunting challenges but with calmness, strategy, and faith. Admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka can emulate this approach. Courage rooted in discipline, meditation, and dharma, transforming Karna's battlefield bravery into life skill mastery. Now, Karna was famous for his generosity, giving away wealth even at personal cost. So how can people today practice generosity in a sustainable and meaningful way? Karna's generosity is inspiring, yet it sometimes left him vulnerable. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji emphasizes generosity should be balanced with wisdom, give without expectation, but also wisely. Through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Padma Sadhana, people develop clarity about what and how to give. Generosity can include time, skills, knowledge, and material resources, not just wealth. In the Vedic path, dana or a charity performed during homas, pujas, or daily life enhances positive karma. Regular practice of Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Agni Karyam purifies intentions and ensures giving benefits both the giver and receiver. Karna's admirers in Karnal and Karnataka can adopt these practices to become generous without depleting themselves. Lord Ram's generosity was measured, compassionate, and rooted in dharma. By combining Karna's courage to give with Ram's discernment, modern seekers can make generosity a tool for social upliftment and inner fulfillment. Now, Karna often served others selflessly, whether in friendship or community support. How can people today cultivate selfless service without losing their balance or being exploited? Jagadev's selfless service or seva is central to Vedic teachings. Karna served Duryodhana loyally, but sometimes his service was manipulated. In the Vedic tradition, seva combined with the rituals like Karyam, Homas, and Pujas ensures a purity of intent and protection for the server. True seva uplifts society and strengthens one's character. Gurudeva emphasizes that service done with awareness transforms both the giver and receiver, while practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and meditation help maintain emotional balance. While serving others, people in Karnal or Karnataka can engage in community work, teaching or supporting spiritual programs without attachment, turning Karna's selflessness into balanced action. Lord Ram's service was always for dharma and the welfare of others. Following his example, Karna's admirers can use selfless service as a means to cultivate humility, generosity, and spiritual growth. Now, Karna valued truth deeply, though he struggled to always uphold it due to circumstances. How can people today cultivate steadfast devotion to truth in daily life? Jagadev, truthfulness is a core virtue, but the mind often wavers under pressure. Gurudev says when the mind is calm, truth becomes effortless. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Padma Sadhana stabilize the nervous system, enabling fear and clear, fearless, and compassionate speech. Truth then is not just external honesty, but alignment of thoughts, words, and actions. Now, in the Vedic tradition, Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Homas help purify the intellect. These rituals remind us that truth is supreme and acting in accordance with Dharma brings inner strength. Admirers of Karna in Karnal or Karnataka can integrate these practices to become authentic in personal, professional, and spiritual life. Lord Rama exemplified truth in every action. By combining Karna's courage with Ram's unwavering adherence to truth, one can navigate complex situations with integrity, making truth a practical guide in life. Now, Karna had the ability to inspire loyalty, courage, and devotion in those around him. How can people today develop such inspirational qualities rooted in Dharma? Inspiration arises from personal integrity, self mastery, and empathy. Karna's charisma came from his courage, generosity, and humility. Vedic practices like Agni Karyam, Homas, Pujas, and Sandhya Vandanam refine these qualities when one's actions reflect Dharma. They naturally motivate others. Gurudev emphasizes when you are balanced, joyful, and connected to your inner self, others are inspired without effort. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and meditation enhance presence, emotional intelligence, and authenticity. People in Karnal and Karnataka can cultivate inspiration in family, work, and community by aligning Karna's courage with Ram's wisdom. Lord Rama inspired through virtue and compassion, not force. By following this model, Karna's admirers can inspire others in a constructive and dharmic way, turning admiration into collective upliftment. Now, Karna forgave many insults and slights, though some grudges remained. How can people today cultivate forgiveness as a tool for inner peace and spiritual growth? The forgiveness is essential for mental and emotional well being. Karna's example shows that holding grudges can cloud judgment. His Holiness Gurudev Shishi Ravi Shankarji says, forgiveness is not about the other person, it is about freeing your own heart. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Padma Sadhana help release resentment and create space for compassion. Vedic tradition uses Agni Karyam, Homas, and Gayatri Japa to purify the mind and cultivate forgiveness. Karna's admirers in Karnal and Karnataka can integrate these practices into daily life, forgiving not only others but also themselves, transforming anger into calm and clarity. Lord Rama exemplified perfect forgiveness even toward enemies, combining Karna's willingness to forgive with Ram's equanimity allows modern seekers to navigate challenges without bitterness, cultivating resilience and peace. Karna demonstrated immense inner spiritual strength, drawing from devotion to Surya and personal discipline. How can people today develop a similar inner strength to face life's challenges? Inner strength comes from a combination of devotion, discipline, and self awareness. Karna's spiritual practices like worship of Surya provided him energy and courage. Today, one can cultivate inner strength through Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Pujas and Homas. These align the mind and body with cosmic energy, providing clarity and resilience. Gurudev emphasizes inner strength arises from stillness within. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 and meditation stabilize the mind and strengthen the heart. For Karna's admirers in Karnal and Karnataka, combining discipline, devotion, and pranayama helps transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Lord Ram's inner strength was evident in his unwavering focus on Dharma. By blending Karna's courage with Ram's righteousness, modern practitioners can cultivate resilience, moral courage, and spiritual stability in daily life. Now, Karna inspired loyalty and devotion among his friends and followers. How can people today cultivate such leadership qualities rooted in dharma rather than ego? Jagadev, true leadership arises from self mastery, integrity, and compassion. Karna inspired loyalty not just through strength but through generosity, courage, and humility. His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji says, a leader's influence grows when the leader serves first. Practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, and Sanyam Sadhana of level 1 and level 2 strengthen emotional intelligence and clarity, helping modern seekers lead without arrogance. In Vedic tradition, leadership is guided by dharma, yagyas, pujas, and sandhya vandanam. When a leader's actions align with dharma, followers are inspired naturally. Karna's admirers in Karnal and Karnataka can combine seva, spiritual practice, and ethical living to develop leadership that uplifts society. Lord Ram's leadership was rooted in wisdom, courage, and compassion. By integrating Karna's charisma with Ram's dharmic clarity, modern practitioners can inspire devotion and loyalty without manipulation or ego. Now, how can modern admirers of Karna integrate all his positive qualities like courage, generosity, humility, discipline, and devotion while transforming his negative tendencies using art of living practices and Vedic sadhanas? Karna's life offers both inspiration and caution. His strengths, courage, generosity, humility, loyalty, discipline can be cultivated through Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, pranayama, Padma sadhana, Sanyam sadhana of level 1 and level 2, and satsangs. Negative tendencies like anger, partiality, and attachment can be transformed through self reflection. Guru Puja, Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri Japa, and Pujas and Homas. Gurudev emphasizes spiritual practices turn raw human qualities into divinely aligned virtues. Now, Vedic practices provide a structured path to integrate these qualities. Daily Agni Karyam, homas, and rituals cultivate purity of mind and action. Karna's admirers in Karnal, Karnataka, or anywhere can study his life, adopt his noble traits, and transform his weakness using spiritual sadhanas, aligning their lives closer to Dharma and Lord Ram's example. By consciously practicing seva, meditation, pranayama, and devotion, modern seekers can channel Karna's admirable qualities to serve society, maintain inner balance, and inspire others, making their lives both powerful and dharmic. In this way, Karna's legacy continues positively in the modern world. Jai Gurudev.